So the rise of conversation and discourse around artificial intelligence has been really interesting from a marketing context. While we're used to it in our daily lives, from map searches or in our Amazon feeds, it hits a little different when we talk about the craft of creating copy and creative to connect donors with nonprofits. So we wanted to test it out. And so today I've got two experts with me. I've got Chris Weiland. I've got Lianne Raices with me. So we're going to look at some prompts and decide whether or not these prompts are created by AI or created by a human. A little game we like to call robot or not. So Lianne, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to read to you the first selection. So I've got a text message. So imagine receiving this on your mobile device. Midnight deadline. Give to insert organization name right now, and your gift towards our goal of $100,000 will have 10 times the impact for animals.
Man, it could go either way. I'm going to go human wrote it because it's got the urgency that direct marketing copy tends to have that I just don't know if AI has been kind of cultivated enough to know. So I'm reading on the iPad, the midnight deadline is in caps. So that really conveys that urgency. And then it also touches on the match multiplier, which is kind of the important clincher for incentivizing why the donor should give right now. So I think a person did this.
A person did write that.
Ooh.
Congratulations, you're 1 for 1. Chris, you're up next as our resident creative expert. So this is a social media post. Mark your calendars. Get ready to dance the night away for a positive cause at the Fur Ball Gala on September 23rd. Help support local animal shelters and make a difference in the lives of furry friends in need. Get your tickets now. Emojis, emojis, emojis. Hashtag animal welfare.
The first thing I want to do is say, for everything that we're going to say today, this is in no means meant to insult a copywriter by saying that you're robotic. Just looking at this at face value, I'd say it's written by a person. I'd say that because of the pun, the use of hashtag, the use of emojis. It's fairly sophisticated. So if this was written by AI, I'm impressed by it.
This was in fact written by a robot, including the pun. We didn't edit. But I think that you bring up an interesting point in terms of, some of the nuances and sophistication that you see in this particular post that you wouldn't necessarily expect AI to deliver back to you. All right, let's move on to a third example. Also a social media post. Lianne, this is to you. Today we wear orange in support of Hunger Action Day to pledge our support in ending food insecurity in our communities. You can join us and make a difference by hosting a food drive, make a donation, volunteer, or join our upcoming golf tournament on October 24th.
Okay, I think a robot did this right off the bat because I feel like I could have given ChatGPT or some other tool like a list of these are all the ways a person can be involved during Hunger Action Day, and it just rattled that list back off in sentence form. So I'm going robot.
This was written by a human. But to your point, it does feel like a platter with all of the things on it, not necessarily a cohesive, directed call to action of something to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our next one. This is our fourth example. So Chris, this is going to come to you. It's an email. The subject in the email is "Make a difference for Haiti's most vulnerable." Dear Chris, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing today with a heavy heart as the poverty crisis in Haiti continues to escalate. With high unemployment rates and limited access to resources, families are struggling to put food on the table and provide basic necessities for their loved ones. That's why I'm reaching out to you to ask for your support. Our organization is dedicated to improving the lives of those living in poverty in Haiti. We believe that everyone deserves a chance at a better life, and with your help, we can make that a reality. By donating to our cause, you will be directly impacting the lives of those in need. Your gift will provide food, clean water, shelter, and education to families and individuals who are struggling to make ends meet. Whether it's $5 or $50, every little bit helps, and goes a long way in making a lasting impact. Donate button, insert here. Together we can make a difference. We have seen the positive impact that our efforts have had on the lives of those we serve, and with your help, we can do even more. Thank you for your time and consideration. Your generosity will bring hope to those who need it most.
It starts well with "I'm writing today with a heavy heart," although that's fairly general. But my biggest question in regards to ChatGPT or AI writing is the ability to make me feel something. The emotion eliciting language, not just language that conveys emotion, but that makes you feel something. And so this is it's very direct, it's pretty dry. So I'm going to guess that it's written by AI.
It is written by AI. As I was reading it, I feel like it could have been written by a non-copywriter. It feels like it could have been sent from someone's Outlook, right? That may not be a professional writer. That some of, like you said, the dryness, maybe overplaying certain aspects, not knowing when to pull back on certain things or when to lean into certain elements. That's all nuance that thankfully the algorithms haven't figured out quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, once they figure out that, if they can figure out that secret sauce, like when I work with one of my writers, they add that secret sauce to it. And I think a lot of that is decades of experience writing persuasive copy.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see if that can be replicated at some point, but I haven't seen it yet.
So this last example we're going to give to both of you, okay? This is also an email. The subject line is "Give the gift of the word this Easter. Dear Lianne, Easter is a time to celebrate hope and new beginnings. Let's spread that message of hope to children who are in need of a Bible of their own. At our organization, we believe that every child deserves access to the Word, regardless of their circumstances. That's why we're working to provide Bibles to children who don't have one. With your help, we can make this Easter a special one for those children in need. Your donation of any amount can help us reach our goal of purchasing Bibles for children in need. Insert donate button here. Together we can make a difference in the lives of children and help them understand the true meaning of Easter. Thank you for your generosity and support. Wishing you and your loved ones a happy and blessed Easter. Is that a bot or not?
That's a robot for sure.
I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
And I'm going to disagree because the opening elicits more emotion. Easter's a time to celebrate hope and beginnings, new beginnings, and then invites you into the story, saying, "Let's spread the message of hope to children who are in need of a Bible of their own." Here it says, "Wishing you and your loved ones a happy and blessed Easter." It really connects with that open and the reason for why they're sending, which is Easter, and providing Bibles to children who don't have them. Why did you think that it was AI?
I'm still not totally convinced. To me, this again feels like, yeah, it checked all the boxes of appealing to a community to support, the distribution of Bibles under the umbrella of the Easter season, but I'm just not getting the why. I think that's the part that's missing for me.
Yeah. It is in fact written by AI, this last example. So it's 2-1 here. So I think Lianne, you had 2 right. Chris, you had 1 right as a part of it.
I think you got 2.
So I think something that we're seeing or that y'all are exploring is that perhaps the longer that the copy gets, the more the human-centered connection is necessary to keep it tied together. Not keep it logical, because the AI copy is very logical. It just lacks some of the warmth that we can impress upon it in terms of drawing out the human-centered emotion.
I think it's a really delicate balance too, and this is where Chris and his team's expertise is really critical, because I'm saying I need that why. So how do you get that story arc in there? How do you get the emotional connection to a child in need and what their circumstances are without overplaying the length of the email copy? So it's like I'm looking for more, but without the length of the email actually being too much more.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that magic or that secret sauce you were talking about would come into play.
Yeah, brevity.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when I was exploring ChatGPT and playing with it, experimenting with it, it's so highly reliant on prompts. And it makes me wonder if the first email of the 2 that we looked at was an initial response to a prompt versus if you add iterative prompts like make it have a stronger emotional hook, use this,
Mhm.
make it sound more human. It will respond and do what it thinks that is, but ultimately it's relying on the input and it's relying on the mind who gives those inputs and how they the mind directs that AI. So, I mean, that you can induce that through prompts is pretty interesting.
I think one of the things that we're learning as we explore this is that this is a tool that can be used and technology that can be used appropriately, not replacing people, but helping augment our efficiency and even in some cases the way that we think about our craft of connecting donors and nonprofits.
My hope is that so much of what we do as creative people is the technology that we employ, be it Adobe Creative Suite or pencil, it's a giant pencil. To me, it empowers creative people who to use this incredibly sophisticated pencil to create work that couldn't be created before. So I think it offers a lot of hope to people who are creative. The best case scenario is it limits some of the minutia that may drag them down and lets them live in the sky a little bit more.
That was more eloquently said than I could have done it, but I think from like a self-preservation mindset, we can get burnt out by the tedious parts of our jobs to making sure that the formula for a good direct marketing appeal is in place. Takes time and thought and effort. If a tool like AI can get the bones of that or the framework of that in place for you, and then through that prompting or through, maybe you take it at that point back to your desk and you make it your own from there, like that could be not just a time saver, but increase productivity all around because you're not going to be burnt out and worn down by doing those mundane or that minutia kind of first step in so many of these projects.
Yeah. Thank you guys for walking through this exercise with us. Lianne, as you said, Chris wrapped it very eloquently. Chris, it's time to unzip and show that you're actually a robot.
I was actually replaced by ChatGPT and Midjourney 6 months ago, and nobody's noticed.
Until now.
Let's figure this out.
Did you write all these?